Yep. Let me boot up Parsec here. Doink. Let's send forth the links. Meow. Alrighty. Doodly diddly diddly doodly diddly doo. Diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly doo. Shooty woody. Capcom is just letting the fans do their Mega Mans. Woo! It's video game. Yay! 1.04! No, that was just an odd reaction. Alright, so we did find Pine. Was there anything new in the lobby? Or did we not check last time? Also, I got a Cursor-chan. Doink. Here we go. Nobody's here. Are you new? Hotel Scary... No, okay. Shield attacker. Yeah. Bastion, taking a break from laying all you can see to waste for once? Uncharacteristic. I wouldn't know a thing about that, but the tournament's starting to open up now. I found some locked off areas. The ones that are off to the side of certain tiers. Pondering on it, I think I know the ones you mean, yes. Each one has some kind of puzzle behind them, and I've been trying to break into them all. Most success I've had is through plain old shooting. I'll have to look myself later on. Maybe it's like the fresh fish room in Tier 7. Kitty. That is entirely too much coffee. Okay. No, he really is frozen. Yeah. Okay. Aha, there you are, Bastion. I've been waiting for you, rooted in your very own room. I practically begged Roll to let me inside, and trust me, I shall make my presence worth it. for I am well versed in certain customization options for your room and your life. My services are free of charge, so please inquire and experiment as much as you like. Disappointing. Huh. Super paint powers activate. Okay, cool. Off the tier 8. Actually, wait, do we have something we can buy at the casino? Dojo! Casino! It's all in the mind! Alright, let's see. Looks like you... Yeah, mini-mapper sounds good to me. What is Step Booster? The Ninja Star. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's get Energy Saver. Yeah. It's gonna be a thing. Alright, tier 8, costumes. Welcome to the costume party. Everyone here is dressing up to win some contests going on. But wearing outfits and finding embarrassing hats is a sucker's game. I can be anything I want. Don't believe me? Just watch. Greetings, citizen. Under the new law, everything you now own belongs to the state. Surrender everything of value or force the penalty for refusing to comply. Wonder if anyone else will actually fall for this. Might get just a little bit richer. Look at me! I'm so cool because I have fans in my wrists. If your costumes are so great, why don't you ride my magnets, cowards? Now I'm feeling like a true winner. I look just like the real Alter Man, don't I? I'm surprised I pulled it off as well as I did. Guess he and I are more alike than we think. New shape? New shape. Drink product, buy product, do not think, only consume, embrace capitalism! I hate this man and everything his corporate masters stand for. I'd turn green if I wasn't already. That's pretty good. Surprise! Didn't think I could change into something this big, did you? Truthfully, I'm stretching myself thin like this. I feel empty inside. Maybe stealing some chump's life energy will make me whole again. I think I'll give shapeshifting a rest for now, at least until I hold that last one consistently. Still, I'm a shoo-in for first place in this ability, don't you think? Bastion would like that. Mega Man steals other people's conveyors. I don't know. Bastion would win a shapeshifting contest easily. Icewall. I've heard this somewhere. I don't remember where. No. What? Oh! Oops. No. Okay. 2, 3, 4, and then the other. That was an easy combo. Sweetie. You want to go, eh? Peepers. I know. Oh, that's neat. I like that. Oh, pretty alright level so far. Oh, man. This... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that works. I was going to say Ice Wall, but that would be like the hard mode token get. Energy Tank! This looks like an Ice Wall thing. Energo. Dr. W! Get him! Enter Metal Man. What is Metal Man weak to? Shockwave? He's pretty weak to Shockwave. Oh, bugger. Gotcha. High five! Pow! Alright, let's see what the judges have to say. Metal Man steals other people's conveyors, not Mega Man. Given the name, I was hoping for way more conveyor belt types than just Solar Man's. Rather disappointed in how little this leveraged its own name. At any rate, this is pretty upfront with its concept, and, well, the end result is, well, it's slightly different from the average Metal Man level. It's a lot of conveyors and typical enemies, along with factory-inspired enemies you'd actually see in his stage. But broken up with things like mercury blocks. For the most part, this isn't terrible. Props for the dee warning preparing us for the falling blocks, and the platforming is overall solid. Granted, the difficulty curve isn't perfect. The latter section is much easier than the mercury blocks, and if you screw up and die getting the 4th token, you basically have to redo half the level. Still, what's there isn't bad. Unfortunately, that's also not enough. While the level is well made, it also isn't memorable. Most of that is the concept. It's a conveyor belt factory with Susie's, Joe's, and falling blocks. Not exactly what I'd call distinct. Chainsaw sticks out to me, if only because I like Mega Man 5's unusual enemies, but for all of Chainsaw's potential, it only appears thrice and barely does anything. Heck, most of the enemies don't do much, even if considering how typical they are. Even when they're totally absent, I don't really notice they're gone. The short length of the level doesn't help things either, meaning the place ends before it can do enough with the items it uses. I can appreciate what's been done here, but it's both not long enough and not terribly interesting, so I ultimately didn't enjoy it. Can't help but wonder if the stage went unfinished, since that's the general feeling I'm getting from it. From what little is here, though, I do see at least some forward potential in it. The platforming challenges, if they were given a better difficulty curve and fleshed out into a more decent-length stage, could make for a rather fun level. I like the setups of the chainsaws in the first half, since they require some precision on the player's part, but not to the point of being overly punishing either. It's just a shame that both them and the Susies disappear completely for the second half of the stage. It instead focuses more on tight jumps across conveyors. It's not to say this is a bad thing on its own, but considering just how short the stage is, the sheer disconnect of the design between the two sections sticks out a lot more. There's not much else here that's really worth bringing up. Again, it all comes back to the fact that the stage is way too short. It ultimately makes it a really forgettable experience, one that could have been a lot better if given more space to combine and flesh out the enemy setups and platforming challenges found in both its segments. Master Thief of Factory Line Components! It's a short level, but I don't mind it. I like the interaction between the disc enemy and the conveyor belt, making this neat dynamic with the disc it leaves behind it. You need to time it to jump over it. I like the gravity blocks too, where you can stand on them as they fall to jump up to gather the tokens hovering over the pits. This, meanwhile, also teaches you can use the same trick with the ice wall. Quite a clever, subtle hint there. The only problem is that there's one part with several of these block dispensers in a row where you have to slide through at the right moments. This can set you back quite a bit if you mistime one of them, but the stage is short as it is, so it's forgivable. Somehow the Metal Man background works really well with the Solar Man tile set. I'm not sure if Uranus' stage theme really fits too well with the setting. The level ends with a bog standard Metal Man fight. Nothing else to comment about it, really. It's a decent way to wrap up the non-existent saga of Metal Man's crimes. This is a by-the-book good level. A handful of gimmicks and enemies introduced in a clear fashion, gradually combined in progressively more dangerous ways. 2 distinct segments and a boss fight separated by well-timed checkpoints. Fair challenges that push player to demonstrate what they learned so far. Thoroughly stable construction, clean, polished graphics that add interest without distracting from the gameplay. I was kind of hoping for a sampler platter of different conveyor styles, but I think the level is better for staying focused. We've seen most of these object pairings before, and I've waded through enough Susies blocking hallways to last a lifetime, but the level never feels derivative. I appreciate the varied architecture and effective use of spikes and sliding passages. I applaud the judicious and meaningful use of Joes. The secret room is truly sneaky. I even encourage a bigger reward for finding it. I question the choice of mini-boss, and I would have liked more color contrast with the spikes, or a different style of spike altogether. Otherwise, everything looks and feels perfect for the level. Metal Man and Solar Man's tile sets work surprisingly well together, and the exclamation points are a creative warning sign for the falling canisters. Token placement is devious and fun. However, I would have preferred keys where the tokens are, and tokens behind nearby locked doors, thus requiring the player to survive the token challenges. Yeah, that's a good point. Drill Man switches would have worked for this purpose, too. My biggest lament is the generic Metal Man fight. Falling canisters feel like an obvious twist that's missing. Also, the music doesn't quite feel right for the pace of the battle. I want a little more from this level, but I'm happy with what it offers. It really feels like I've just played this before in a better version of it. Indeed, it's as if you took Mercury's stage, had more spikes, swapped out some of the interesting enemies that are overused and generic, and replaced the Crusher segment and Mercury himself with a mediocre mini-boss and boss. I'd say that Mercury and Metal Man were some of the less memorable stages of their respective games, so whilst the mashup is thematically appropriate, it's also thematically dull. The sheer number of spikes and pits are the only thread of the stage. Spikes that somewhat blend in if you aren't paying attention, could have used a different color palette. And frankly, only the sheer generic layout prevents confusion from unmarked pits. I question the use of Susies here. They don't complement the stage layout and just act as roadblocks that slow the player down rather than a genuine threat. The Chainsaws and Sniper Joe end up as slow time wasters. Very little requires you to actually dodge or maneuver. The worst part is, the stage repeats its challenges. You had 2 challenges in the entire second of the stage, and the rest feels like you just copy-pasted them. The first time you encounter a slide timing challenge does frustrate since it offers little warning it's coming, but the others are just repeating what you did not 1 second previously. Aesthetically, it looks pleasing enough. Using Metal Man's cog animation combined with the prettier of official conveyors, it helps ensure the stage isn't all lifeless and the tiling is all rather solid. The stage seems to get more and more broken and damaged the further you go in. A nice touch. I am a fan of the Trickster tokens here. I don't mind having to rely on weapons for some of these. It offers just bits of spice and distraction in an otherwise fairly sub-average, obvious, and standard level. So who's right here, Flash or Ace? It's Godot! For some reason I've had a hankering for coffee lately, but no one will give me any because I don't have any mouth. Why, I'd throw the cup right back at him for that. Only problem is I don't have arms, or hands. Maybe I could get a lawyer. Everyone's been walking up to me saying, nice costume, and that scythe looks so real. Of course it does. It is a real scythe. What fool goes to a corpse party without one? What do you mean it said costume party on the brochure? That's just terrific. I was planning on using this on so many here, too. Perhaps I can get Hunter Woman to sign it. Worthless, man. 0 from Ace. What? Wait, did Ace... Wait, did Ace just not judge this level? The average... what's the... Wait, what's... RIP. Is this Ace's least favorite? Oh, yeah, Ace couldn't even play this level, huh? One of the tokens of the stage is locked behind the super boss that turned Fragile Man into shrapnel. I'm too distracted itching to even dare face a foe like that. This level's a long one. A very long one, and punishing too. If I lose my keys here, I might never find them. Why is the level so long? For one thing, time starts to add up when the end boss alone can take 5 to 10 minutes per attempt. This level is unforgiving. It's got enemies that could best be described as damned sponges and so much instant death. And a wildly difficult super boss at the end. Still pulling myself back together from that last one. If you're even considering going in there, learn from my mistakes. Bring some upgrades from the casino and stock up on tanks. This level was disqualified. One judge was unable to complete it due to a migraine caused by the end boss. Unfortunately, we can't tone down the visuals. Doing so would fundamentally alter the boss fight. If epilepsy, migraines, or eye strain are concerns of you, skip this level and go left to collect all the loot. That warning, I've now unlocked the entrance to the level, and my head hurts now. Let's just grab the tokens first. I woke up for the first time today. A man with a balding head said he created me. He says I have more potential than any robot ever created. I asked him why, then my designation is Worthless Man. He said that would change once I found my potential. There's another doctor here named Jane Vorloff. She said I should record my thoughts in a journal. So I guess I'll be doing that. Bastion, what are you doing? Your objective is to the right. Left is very specifically not where your objective is. Bastion, stop it. You'll die if you keep going this way. There's nothing this way. There are no trickery tokens, bolts, or E-tanks. Go back, please. What, you think this is a joke? Here's a punchline. The last screen on this walkway is just an empty screen over a death pit. There, I ruined the joke for you. Go back. Bastion, stop it! I already ruined the punchline! Go back! Fine, then I have a joke to tell. Why did the cat walk into the world's most obvious and heavily telegraphed death trap? Because he's a cat and nobody tells him what to do. Yeah. Alright, there's a thing over here. Music on the stage comes to you from Music Cage, Terror Tot Tunes, and Zune. Day-night switches, huh? Well, that's how you get that, I guess. I notice you are trying to get the token. Oh, I guess there's bolts there. Okay. My, 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 my... What? Oh. I think it's clever. I just have a little bit too much HP. Apparently my chassis is a repurposed Joe unit. I don't think I'll be finding my true potential with this body. I want to try fixing that by studying the Joe units. I don't know if I found any of my own potential this way, but I did figure out how to make weaker versions of other robot masters. Dr. Vorloff has started calling them Joe masters. She seems impressed with what I've done. GAG! Or miss entirely. Hang on, I'm gonna... Needs to be daytime. Yeah! That didn't work. Instant death! Plushie! We were warned that this is a very long stage. Also, checkpoint back here, really. Yeah! Ow. I mean, that is exactly why he's there. That was a lag spike. Wow. Well, you can get it with rush coil, but meh. Or that. The subject made alterations to the design of a previous Robot Master, adding the Joe visor to its design. She named the resulting creation Honey Joan. Okay, we're just straight up fighting Honey Woman. No, we're not. What? We're fighting fighting anti-gravity Honey Woman, huh? Is Honey Woman from Mega Man 11? No, it wasn't 9 or 10. I forget what she's weak to. It's not Water Shield. Oh, it's Shockwave, maybe. No, it's not. Sheesh. Please be a checkpoint? Yes, okay. I figured out how to modify my chassis. His Splash one is an inspiration, but I also like Dr. Voiloff's poofy blonde hair. She asked me if I still wanted to be known as Worthless Man. I told her I still didn't know what my potential is, but I don't feel like a man. She suggested Worthless Woman as an interim name. Robots. I built some new solar panels and incorporated them into my chassis. These panels are 400% more efficient than other solar panels. In addition, they can also get power from moonlight and starlight. It's affected my personality, though. I think I'm 2 people now. At night, I'm Lunar Woman. During the day, I'm Celestial Woman. Lunar Woman feels like the meat that was already here. Celestial Woman is really different, though. Dr. What? Oh, Shinryu says Honey Woman is a scrapped design that eventually became Hornet Man. Dr. Vorloff says she's a very excitable personality. I think I'm scared of her. Okay, that is bad. Yes! Oh, Okay, so that moon laser in the middle, it's slow. So, yeah. Gyro! Huh. Ah. Now I need to go across and back across and across and back across. What do you mean? You just cross the room to the left while the sun is out. Oh, yeah, you can, huh? If Top Joe will let you. It's like a top percentage of all Joes. What? As far as I can tell, he's only throwing one at a time. The subject made this next Robot Master after something she described as a Chinese cartoon. She has named it the JoJo Joe. Also, what do you mean Chinese? I'll have to make a note not to let her watch the Powerpuff Girls. Dun, 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 dun. Do you know which JoJo character that is? Is it just... I don't know. Yeah. I know that! Like, okay, yeah, he's using stands. I get it. I was asking if he's based on, like, a specific character, but clearly not. Okay. This is hilarious, by the way. Is that a JoJo reference? Menacing. I played back some memories that were recorded by my Celestial One personality. Dr. Wily wanted to see my progress, so he took me to a populated city. What happened next? Celestial Woman, I had no idea she had that much power. The city was there 1 second, the next it was scorched glass. Dr. Wily looked impressed. Dr. Vorloff looked terrified. I don't think I like what I've become. Here. Stand over here. 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. Oh. I didn't see that coming at all. Alright, whoops. Alright, I'll stay here and fall off screen and you can do this then. Okay, my turn. Whoops! That's not coil. I'm staying here. You know what it was? I think I looked at RJ and thought it was rush jump. Oh, bugger. Yeah. It got disqualified because Ace Spark couldn't finish it on account of a massive migraine. Like, that was pretty clear. Thanks, Rush. Good luck. That is such a rude laser. Oops! Oh, whatever. Oh, that works. Oops. Well. At least you can see where the blocks will be here. Try shooting and then jumping. Oh wait, you can't because Top Joe. I don't know, this is bad. Yay! You jumped before the thing hit the thing. This is definitely not a multiplayer level. Hit it with a special weapon. What? Cat, please. That was also lag. Okay. I'm out of here. Oh, okay. Ah! Oh, that almost worked. And now you're out of magnet beam. Yeah, okay. The funny thing is, this isn't even a check. This isn't even a checkpoint. Ambition. Run. Kitty wants to turn on the controller. Too bad. The controller is controlling a kitty. That took entirely too many tornado blows. Oh no! Whoo! Spike drop! Okay. Ugh. Ugh. It was a Gyro Joe spot. See, now that should one-shot Gyro Joe, just on principle. He's already flying. Oops. This is some rude platforming. Wow. We're not going after that. No way. I should just magnet beam there. I bet you it's pretty long. There's a whole alternate path to the left, it looks like. One up, sure. Yeah, you should use magnet beam here. It's waiting to get you. Checkpoint. Hi, seems Dr. Vorloff knocked me out of access for my day-night switches, so I blew her up. I still gotta deal with you. I can't force you to fight me in the daylight. So, how about a deal? If you fight me during the daytime, I'll bring a trickery token with me. And also, like, this really shiny, huge bolt I found? Probably worth a lot. If you beat my Celestial Woman form, you get it. But if you fight me at night, you'll never find the token. But maybe that isn't a big deal for you. Not like you need this little collectible, right? See you soon! I think I'm disappearing. My personality will soon be overridden completely by Celestial Woman. I don't want to go, but I don't think I can do anything about it now. If you're reading this, you're most likely here to destroy me before Dr. Wily can use my power. If you are, be advised, I'll be much weaker at night. You must fight me at night, please. Sure. Flashing lights warning, I guess. Yep, it's Legendary Illusion Infinite Mind. 5?! Or not Infinite Mind, Infinite Being. Okay. Okay. Yep, full Toho. How rude. I'm trying to figure out what she's weak to. Yeah, you should probably use your E-tanks here. This isn't worth doing. Tankless. It's like trying to play Toho on a toaster oven. I feel myself disappearing. The personality called Celestial Woman, it will soon dominate both sides of me. If that happens, I hope someone destroys me. If anyone else is reading this, it's probably because I've already been destroyed. If that's the case, please don't feel bad. I prefer this over my body being used for destruction. Before this all happened, I was happy. I'm glad I at least got to experience that. And whoever destroys me, thank you. That was crazy. Anti-Eddie. Yashichi! Yeah, it's RIP. Yeah. This level. I don't hate this by any means. The Joe Masters were a useful obstacle and a neat twist on old bosses. The day-night switches were a lovely mechanic with excellent variety, including optional rewards for switching even when it isn't necessary. And the level design, from an outside perspective, seems conceptually sound. Unfortunately, this is bloody hard to play. The Joe Masters have entirely too much health to be the sole enemy type in the level. Only exception being the completely invulnerable top Joes. Not sure if that's an improvement. As for the day-night switches, if you screw up even once, you either fall 7 feet or you're dead. Either way, you can lose a ton of progress for one mistake, and it's not easy to make that back. Combine that with a level that's over 50 screens long, and whatever interesting design there is, gets muffled by a severe frustration factor. I wouldn't be surprised if my fun score seems lenient compared to the others, because this really was a slog. There are a number of boss fights to break things up. Sadly, they're not really an improvement on the level's faults. Honey Joan is an okay fight, but the gravity shenanigans and her jumping behavior take more time to get used to than she necessarily allows. Jojo Joe starts fine enough, but the Metal Man phase really needs to slow down on the Metal Blades. Lunar Woman herself, she's fine. Up until she starts firing 20 plus flashy, speedy bullets all over the screen. At that point, even just parsing her attacks can be a challenge, never mind dodging them. But Celestial Woman, she warrants her own paragraph. I can see a ton of effort went into this, and I admit she's really cool to watch. Going through a recording, I can tell every attack is avoidable, and it's good that you get health every time she drops a life bar. I wish Lunar Woman did that between phases. Unfortunately, Bullet Hell and Mega Man mix extremely poorly. Especially when the boss has 5 phases, takes less damage, and spends a lot of time out of reach. She takes nearly 8 minutes to kill on a good run. The average Mega Man stage can usually be done in 3. I used up nearly every tank I had against her, and if I died in the later phases, I need to restart the entire level because of restocking issues, going through this behemoth all over again just for another fair shot. She's basically the epitome of this level. Really cool in concept, but the execution is just... it's too much. Despite a few questionable things here and there, my initial impressions of this level were pretty good. The more it went on, however, the more frustrating it became, and it quickly began to wear out its welcome. Like I said, though, things didn't start off that way. The main gimmick, while essentially just an on-off switch for platforms and lasers, is made more interesting thanks to how much influence it has over the room layouts. There are some genuinely good platforming challenges centered around them, especially in the first half of the stage. The room immediately after the first switch is one of my favorites, since you can actually choose between the day or night versions of that section. I really wish the level had more rooms like this, as it would have added a lot more depth. I'd say the first time is still pretty good, though. I'd say the only thing that really bogs that part, and unfortunately the rest of the level down, are the Joe Masters. While the idea behind them is fine, fighting them is more tedious than not due to how overly durable they are. It's made even worse when you consider that most of them are unavoidable as well. Sadly, the level's issues don't end there. Once it hits the halfway point, some of the challenges go from tough but manageable to downright annoying. The vertical climb segment is one of the biggest offenders. The thing that confuses me the most about that part is the lack of indicators for where the blocks would be in the first half. The background tiles serve as telegraphs for the second half, so why not have them for the first part? That really could have alleviated some of the frustration factor with that whole segment. Then there's the boss fights. While the 2 mid-bosses aren't anything to write home about, except maybe for the Metal Man stand throwing out blades way too frequently, the end bosses are a completely different story. Lunar Woman is a pretty rough fight thanks to her double health bar, high damage output, and tight projectile patterns. It's doable without E-tanks, but it takes some practice. The same cannot be said of the other end boss. To say Celestial Woman goes overboard would be an understatement. She is without question the most difficult boss out of all the entries, but for all the wrong reasons. 5 health bars, each with a unique phase and desperation move, attacks that deal huge damage and take up massive screen space, projectile patterns that are near impossible to avoid, phases that often have her floating out of the player's reach for extended periods of time, and it just goes on and on from there. All of this adds up to a nightmare of a fight that lasts for far too long. The health items you get after each phase transition don't really help much, considering any benefit you get from them can be erased with just a few mistakes, and they will be making mistakes in this fight, a lot of them at that. The absolute worst about all this is that prior to skip teleports being introduced, it was required if you wanted to get the final token. In short, this stage and the bosses could have done some major toning down in several aspects. Hey Coots, hey buddy, hello Coots. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. That Celestial one fight, it's not really an optional fight now, is it? When you lock an item behind it, it counts toward completion. 5 bars of health. While the boss doesn't have nerf damage and has no weakness and too much of an invulnerability window between phases, while Mega Man still has his chunky hitbox for the bullet hell patterns, it's definitely impressive programming-wise, but the fact is, it still doesn't make it a fun or fair fight. At least for me. Sorry, but I just don't find these kinds of fights very enjoyable, despite what my persona is based on. Yeah, if you're going to do bullet hell, you need precise movement and a tiny hitbox. Yeah, but trying to make Toho in Mario or Mega Man is just asking for trouble. Yeah. MaGMML3. Distorted Travesty. That's not a Mario fan game, it just borrows some things from Mario. Yeah. The normal version is fine, though. It'd still give her a more prominent weakness, since she's still an airborne boss with more than one health bar. Oh, right, there was also a stage, wasn't there? I really like the use of the sun and moon switchers, creating a neat swapping platforming challenges, although kind of demanding at some parts of the strict timing. It's satisfying once you manage it, though it could really use another checkpoint after that one laser pit crossing section. The JoJo enemies, while interesting to have them use the same attack patterns as their boss counterparts, really would appreciate them having less health, you know? That one Gyro Joe at the end was especially a huge slog when you want to go for the token but keep dying to the tight jumps between lasers. Though I don't understand what relation there is between JoJo and Celestial theming. The stage really commits to the JoJokes. The enemy boss, Jotaro, mini-boss, JoJo music, tarot cards, I guess? Two critical aspects of good level design are knowing when to give the player an advantage and recognizing when something needs to stop. If these things are overlooked or ignored by a developer, it doesn't matter how catchy the music is, how stunning the parallax backgrounds are, or how gloriously inventive some of the puzzles are. Hey, buddy. The level and its garbage difficulty are going to make people like me upset. Between fighting exhaustingly durable enemies who are uniformly weak to laser trident and nothing else, backtracking for tokens, and easily losing progress with the slightest mistake, I'm looking at you, miserable Top Joe tower climb. It can take an extraordinarily long time to reach the next checkpoint. It's not unreasonable to ask for more health refills between checkpoints, consistent use of background graphics that indicate where the day and night blocks will appear, the ability to use invincibility frames to sneak past lasers, and any weapon refills at all. Level length is out of control. Fewer screens and less demanding puzzles, especially in the last third, would help tremendously. I could have done without the mini-boss, who make this level even longer. Honey Joan is essentially a Joe Master, Joe Bot Master, with a health bar for some reason, and Jojo Joe seems much more appropriate as an end boss or secret boss. I appreciate the ingenious method of earning the final token. I do not appreciate a 10-minute struggle requiring almost every tank I have to survive. The end of an overlong puzzle level is not the right time to go full-on Toho. The biggest shame is that I started off loving this level. There's a sense of humor, a tangible difficulty progression, and an engaging narrative, but by the end, I was annoyed by technical inconsistencies and utterly burned out on relentlessly punishing challenges. Can't do this one. It fell at the last hurdle, but that boss is such a severe laser show. The entire screen more or less getting filled with flashing lights and rapid imagery. And it caused severe migraines. Just can't do it. This is physically impossible for me to do when I can barely look at the screen. I can force some things, but I draw the line at physical pain. I wish to find this world's strongest warrior. Will I find them at this tournament? There are many promising fighters. But this party holds little value to me. Only get her compliments about my costume. If they only knew the battles this blade has seen. I kept getting thrown out because all my costume ideas were too sharp and spiky for them. Well, how about this? I'm gonna look daft, but one touch and bam, you'll pop into a ton of colorful orbs. Or bland and boring white orbs if you're a vanilla normie who supports the man, unlike me. Didn't you come from a Game Boy game, punk? What was the stage title? Graphics, Mini Macro, Music, Cosmic Gem, and Hertz Devil. Programming, Phase on Mother Brain. No! I thought that Met was an NPC for some reason. Florba Blogger! Sheepman has an enemy like that. Here. Yay, co-op! Yeah, the player can't find a friend to do them with, then they can't exactly do the level. Oh yeah, that's neat. Yeah, having the inverted shading tiles is nice. It seems... it seems to be a maxim among the judges that, like, you have to assume that this is a player's first Mega Man game, I guess. Yeah! Go, go, go! Oof! I'll just die earlier. Can I die up there? Here. I think it's Mega Man. Yeah. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Oh, but this looks like a cool Yoku block section. That and the melody cannon. Nice work. There's health. What? Oh. Oh boy. Oh bugger. Go, go, go! Scrolling! Shoulda used the elect beam. Gotta get formal! What the blue god gagba? Clipping! I like it. But is he a French chef robot? Dr. L. It's... he's just here to say hi. Whoops. %10 time penalty. Ace did not like this level. Are there any levels Ace likes? If I were to... Also known as Shade. It would probably copy you because you're player 1. If I were to describe Rock Fortress in 2 words, it's pure design. I'm glad you can see where the Yoku blocks will spawn since it means less guesswork, and I found the Force Beam sections played pretty well. The Count Bombs and Auto-Scroll also played fairly smoothly, but I finally got too punishing too quickly. That seems intentional, yeah. Yeah, like that was exactly twice the spawn interval of the other Yoku blocks. Your first time with the gimmick, the auto-scroll especially, your first time with the gimmick shouldn't be so willing to kill you for a single mistake, and there's quite a bit of auto-scroll to get through. The enemy appearances were respectable across the board, or at least none of them stuck out as bad, although I can't for the life of me remember any individual encounters besides Copy Robot. And that's mostly because it was a custom boss. Even then, I actually forgot it was custom at first. Everything ran together so thoroughly, I initially thought it was just another dev kit element. And that leads into the big flaw. While none of the level is badly designed, it completely fails to be interesting. All the concepts presented here are ones I've seen before, and none of them inspire much reaction. Even the aesthetic, while technically sound, is ultimately just generic Fortress. It feels like it was churned out by a factory. Essentially, there was very little life to this place. As a result, I didn't find this very fun, and it's certainly not interesting enough to be worth a replay. Sure, it was well designed, and it's clear there was plenty of effort put in, but all design in the world won't have a level that feels lifeless, and this feels lifeless. First impressions on this level were pretty good. The overall look of the stage is nice, the music is great, and nearly every enemy and gimmick is introduced fairly. All was going well, but as the stage went on, I have to admit, I gradually lost interest. I think the reason behind this is that while the stage's design is relatively decent, it's also a bit on the generic side in terms of enemy and platforming challenges. Granted, you don't need to make something complex in order for it to be good, but a little creativity can go a long way. Most of the stage is really forgettable, with the exception of a few things here and there. One of the more notable moments for me was when I tried to go down a ladder to a previous section and immediately died. I realize this is probably to prevent player from easily getting the token in the room prior, but I feel there were better ways of doing that. Besides, none of the other ladders on the stage do this. That's why you use boss doors. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make a one-way transition like that, use a boss door. Aside from that, there were only 2 other times the stage stood out to me, the auto-scrolling section and the boss. For the former, I felt it was a bit too tight in some parts, especially when the Yoku blocks showed up. They really aren't the type of gimmick that's well suited for fast-paced sections. Then there's the boss. He's not terrible, but much like the stage, his fight is really basic. His ice wall attack feels a bit off since projected a good distance away from his buster. But other than that, there weren't any other issues I found. The aesthetics and difficulty curve are certainly here, but this stage needs more interesting elements or segments in order to really shine. Familiar Fortress! Familiar Foes! A fairly standard stage with a lot of commonly used gimmicks, but it's not a bad stage either. The difficulty curve is well adjusted, gimmicks are introduced at a good pace. I like the touch of the lasers shooting into where a player wouldn't be, just a room before the actual laser section, so you can get prepared for them. The stage could have been way more evil for sure with all the Yoku blocks and Count Bomb spike sections, so thank you for showing restraint. In contrast, the enemy density seems a bit barren. Perhaps it's due to the short length of the stage that it cannot fully utilize its enemy placements. The final section can be a bit mean too, since there is a long string of Yoku blocks near the end of an auto-scrolling section. Missing even the first cycle means that you won't make it. The boss is a copy robot-like fight, and is quite chaotic as expected for a copy robot fight. It fights technically predictably as its attacks operate under a timer, but it can still be tricky to predict where exactly the attacks are going to appear on the fly since Copy Robot constantly moves around the arena. I've considered every definition of rock I can think of, and none of them seem to fit this fortress. Blue backgrounds and a costume-dependent boss are a bit of a stretch if the title is meant to be a play on Rockman. I know I'm pedantic about level titles, but I want to understand why I was promised a rock fortress and got an all-you-can-eat buffet of overused enemies and gimmicks. It's fortunate that the design here is quite competent, particularly with regard to learning curve, challenge arcs, and pacing. The lasers are perfectly timed, and the auto-scrolling section is comfortably frantic. This easily could have been a real Heimei. Where the level falls short for me is creativity. I've been chased by lasers around empty rooms, I've crossed large chasms via Yoku blocks, I've stopped to clear Susies out of hallways before proceeding, I fought Metal Daddy in a standard boss chamber. Too many assets live in isolation here. A number of professional touches help a great deal. Capcom quality aesthetics, solid construction, architecture with a coherent flow, and an unassuming text box that promptly gets the credits out of the way. Challenges are consistently fair and reasonably far from the nearest checkpoint. Laser Trident and Rush Jet only ruin part of the difficulty. Some trimming wouldn't hurt, but the level length is manageable. The first token, while admittedly a little inelegant, has a great puzzle slant. Visually and architecturally, I'm fond of the thick pillars in the area before the first lasers. The surprise lasers from the sky are a hoot. I can scarcely fathom going back to Yoku block challenges without wall markings to guide me. It's surprisingly fun to be on the receiving end of this contest weapon roster. Only a handful of screens get me excited to play this, but I respect the polish. Two highlights. I like the boss and the auto-scrolling segment. Whilst unforgiving, was a neat addition. The little fake-out with the Yoku block introduced earlier in the stage makes a devious return here, and the fact that it was actually telegraphed earlier in the level was nicely done. The rest of the level was a snorefest. What happened? The most generic enemies, gimmicks. The level had no identity to itself. It was just generic the level. These are gimmicks and enemies you combine with other gimmicks and enemies because by themselves they are not a theme. They are not an identity. They're just there. Even the title set and music was generic and dull. The stage is competent, but so boring overall. That said, I did enjoy the boss encounter. The copy robot returns in a rather fun fight. I wish you hadn't used the entire player arsenal though, because frankly the water shield is rather unfair. And the lack of tells for a couple of the attacks could lead one rather miffed if the wrong combination turns up. Still, he is fun to fight, I'll give you that. What are you looking at, partner? Ain't you never seen a desert bandit in a poncho before? What do you think I am, some kind of pirate? Buy it? Buy all the shipwrecks of the damned. You dare suggest I actually spent me loot on a tawdry costume, no less? Of course I was, but do you think I'd let the opportunity to rob an eccentric billionaire sail me by? Alas, it seems this Ernie Will actually has more sense than money. I be seeing tough robots everywhere he goes. And I don't mean those competitors, but his own private force of rozzers. Who do you think he is, Dr. Wily? ... A review by Axman13. I couldn't care less about this tournament outside of it bringing in a crowd of rubes for me Kazoks to pickpocket. But while here, I just so happen to learn a thing or two about costumes. Things a shopkeeper ain't telling me. You ever wonder why things feel different when you wear a costume? It ain't just people playing along, it's for deeper reasoning. If you come to me while wearing one of them, I'll tell you the secret truth behind it. All I'll say is this. It's the only way you'll be able to keep your eye on me. So, have you come to learn the secret truth of your so-called costume bastion? Well, but I can't tell what's standing in front of me. I ain't aware of this costume. This ain't me script. Ah, that is the scripture of the ancient Mu continent, which I plundered lately. It didn't predict your appearance. Truly, you be a mysterious enigma to all. Now bugger off before you make a lesser mine go up like a sea mine. Technical support by Zello. Average 55. Eh. Hi, Bastion! We're Turbo Man and Dynamo Man as one! We got a tip from a guy named Subversi that there's a trickster token in a warehouse down there. Yeah, just imminently fall there. Have fun collecting a token! All here, we're the Megatuber. What? It is a mystery. Oop. Okay. That token sure was there. Oh boy. Ah! Bastion, thank goodness you've come. Our factory was recently started to work bizarrely. I think it has something to do with the main computer. You can fix it by using that machine over there. Do you want to know how it works? Yeah. Okay, when you're inside the machine, press up button. Yes, there's a button with arrow pointing up. Anyway, why did you spell arrow with 3 R's? Anyway, press it. That will transfer your programming data into the main computer. You'll be able to move freely inside it. Watch out, however. There may be aggressive programs inside. Good luck! Kit Boga. The last thing that exists is this is the classic timeline, not Battle Network timeline. Hello, hello, hello! Intruder is bad. Eliminate. New objective. Destroy entity Bastion. Attack protocol engaging. Booyah boogie! Its virus is busting. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Hey, it's a sortie virus. Battle Network is totally my jam, so I'm probably gonna have a good time here, maybe. It's Canada, I think. Yeah. Hinga wee wee waga! He invented the Gigi Gaga Waka. That's the name of an item in Live Alive. They call him Loop Man. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. This is neat. I dig it. Checkpoint. Whoa. I mean, the checkpoint is right there. I didn't see what it was. Oh, wait, no, it was a, hardhead. Heh. Okay, I'll tell you what it is if we see another. There's supposed to be a puzzle here, but the creator had no good idea how to make a good one. Sorry about that. Really? That of all things is making you dizzy? Alright, I got this. Yep. Yeah, that's a hard head. Ah! Up and down is not a virus, excuse me. Go! Damn fertile Virgil! Checkpoint! It's a foot holder. What? What? Ow. That's its mouth. Warning! Lasers down there. Please avoid at all costs. Mega Man! Mega Man! What? Oh, I see. The plus blocks are safe. Alright, yeah, you just... Yeah, under the plus blocks are safe. That's still kind of a narrow area, but... Oh boy. This is a little scary. And now we got a rotating one. What is this, Super Meat Boy? Gonna get the... No? Okay. No! That did not register as a pit to me. Split path, oh boy. Saw a strange guy going down that ladder. Maybe you should check that? I'm feeling strong energy from him. He might have an energy element. Welcome to Disc R. R stands for rest. Please talk to NPCs from left to right. Okay. What's your favorite level from MaGMML 2? Personally, I like Ancient Tomb. It's just oozing with originality. Nah, I think Wily Tower is better. Sure, it's not much level in it, but it has great bosses. And they're picked very rarely, too. Besides, the author's nickname seems so familiar. My favorite level is Yggdrasil. I love Nordic mythology references. What is our purpose anyway? We don't do anything here. We have to exist just to, I don't know, maybe for this facility work? Crashman, Flashman, Ashman, Dashman, Cashman, Slashman, Bashman, Stashman. There's so many of them. I would help you in your adventure, but I can't beat life. At least there aren't any gravity flips in this stage, unlike a certain other stage with that music. Do you like my costume? There's something weird about it, though. Ever since I started to wear it, I keep hearing voices in my head saying things like, join the Volt Men, obey the Hive Ming, assimilate until they're only us. Man, I really need to go to the doctor. Should I say program it since I'm a prog? The heck is a pro... I have no idea. It's the Ming Dynasty. 2 hearts, 3 spades, 3 diamonds. Yes, I've assembled all 3 pieces of the overused Death Kit Royal Flush, Quint, Volt, and Komuso. Wait, what do you mean we're playing poker? I didn't know. Arg, I'm out! There's no spoon, or knife, or fork. Why are these collectibles called trickster tokens? Why not righteous rubles or dazzling dollars, even yummy yens? For beep's sake! Hey, do you want some battle chips? For example, the Mega Cannon for only 4,000 zenny? Wait, you don't have zenny? What do you have, screws? Who uses screws as currency? Yeah. I got frozen. Flubberlubberherbelubberwager. That's not Bastion! Volt? Don't worry, Bastion, I'm fine. I found out how to fix the factory core. Now just let me finish and go. And watch as everything goes according to Wily's Keikaku! Translator's note. Keikaku means plan. Oh, hi, Darkman. And now it's Susie! And we gotta redo the dialogue. Why? You know what? Screw you, Darkman. I have Flurf. I have Shockwave. Yep. Yay. Meowfurger wee. Oops. That would be nice. It's Susie's portrait again. Shenanigans, that's what's going on. Oops. It's too purple! Or pink, I guess. Whoa! Yeah, sure, spawn the second phase of the mini-boss right on top of... Mm-hmm. Nice work. When bootleg Mario's attack. If only we could travel back in time and get Osamu Tezuka to write and draw the Mega Man movie. I don't recall this being a virus in any of the Battle Network games. Flarga Bargaberg. Verbal Barble. I mean, yeah, I think the background should be dark green instead of light green, honestly. That would make it a bit less eye-piercing. Co-op! Oops. That's odd. Oh man. Huh. Yeah, at that point the game will have been out in some form for 6 years, so that's nice. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, like I was wondering if they would update the UI from Chapter 1 to match what it looks like in Chapter 2. Oh, dear. Hmm. Psh. Down, system core. Please do not disturb. Okay. Ooh, nice save. Yes! The spikes should despawn. Oh well. Capsule! Top Man! A Battle Network Classic level? It seems no weird in some of the stuff I've come up with. I generally enjoyed this level at first. The aesthetic really sold the digital nature, although the binary C can be distracting. And the use of different Battle Network viruses made me smile. Sortie was a fun Picket Man variant, Canodum was slightly more useful than Tataho, and Hardhead made an excellent shield cannon. The level also does reasonably well with its gimmicks. The move hovers get plentiful variety, Guts Hover gets some actual time to shine, even if you only appeared a grand total of once. And the laser conclusion is remarkably fun, particularly the chase sequence, though the sign was unnecessary. Top it off with some decent boss fights, and the level is almost great. Unfortunately, there are some significant sticking points. Less important one is the level intro. I get the idea, but the out-of-computer section felt completely unnecessary. Voltman's Ring is the only exception, and I very much didn't appreciate having a two-phase boss. I very much didn't appreciate having a two-phase boss before starting the actual level. I get wanting to introduce hostile programs. The first Sortie was just fine. I don't like having to do a minute and a half of unrelated stuff just to play the level, and it gets tedious on replays. Which leads into the biggest issue, the implementation of multiple elements. Awful, 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 awful. The individual sections aren't terrible, as I said previously. Both bosses are decent. But having to replay nearly the entire level just to get the second element, that's far too much. I understand the importance of replay value, but forcing it like this is annoying at best and made the second playthrough a complete slog. It's a shame as the level is pretty neat on the first playthrough. but it's not strong enough to sustain the second element, which completely sours the whole experience. One final comment. On the path to the club token, one of the sorties gets stuck in the wall continuously. It's a bit silly, to say the least. I need water. I can't... I can't say... I can't say I was all that thrilled once. I can't say I was all that thrilled once I got through this level twice in a row, considering the extra energy element. Well, there's definitely a few positive aspects I can point to here and there. For the most part, I found more issues during my time with it than anything. Yeah, I heard you. In terms of Oh, hold up. I had the computer audio muted, so nobody's been able to hear the game for 2 hours. Or you. Oops.
Talking to the void, apparently. Oops.
Yeah. In terms of actual platforming and enemy and room layouts, there's not too many memorable moments here, barring maybe 1 or 2 jumps involving the move hovers and exactly 1 instance of the guts of the platform.
Found the mute culprit.
Titus.
I don't know.
The rest of it revolves around dealing with pretty basic enemy configurations, most of which are shielded. While I appreciate the effort to make the picket men, I need you to focus on the game again.
It is. It's focused on...
Oh, wait! It's because never mind, that was mine.
I am focused on the game. I never unfocused.
While I appreciate the effort to make the picket men into something less spammy and annoying, the sheer frequency of the swordy and hardhead enemies can really bog things down when you're spanning unless you're spanning laser trident everywhere. The plain aesthetics also didn't help much, with nearly everything being a shade of green. The music choice for the main stage is pretty decent, though I couldn't help but notice it doesn't loop properly. If anything, the one major thing I can count on the level's favor is that segment of force beams that move back and forth across the ceilings. This is easily the most engaging part of the stage, offering a decent challenge and forcing you to be careful of your positioning. though not in an overly strict way either. The force beam race leading up to the main boss is a bit less threatening, but either way, it's a welcome break compared to what the rest of the stage offers. I certainly enjoyed the position-based challenge there more than I did the section of the up and down, so which are placed in ways that people often cite as example as to why I dislike that enemy. While there is a telegraph to their presence found in the tiles of the sections they appear in, it's very easy to miss thanks to the color palette practically camouflaging it. It also doesn't help that there's one instance of up and downs emerging from spikes rather than pits. Lastly, there's the two end bosses. Honestly, I would prefer that the split for the bosses occurred earlier in the level, or if there was just one boss. Having to basically go through the whole stage twice for full completion doesn't take too long, but it's still a bit on the tedious side. As for the bosses themselves, well, the core boss is basically a weak imitation of the square machine from Rockman 4 minus Infinity, with the dialogue before the fight even implying this in a less than subtle manner. As for the slight exit text made it look like I said Duckman. As for the slight Darkman edit, I actually found them to be relatively decent. It did take me a moment to figure out the different shot colors indicated whether or not they would home in on you, but beyond that, I didn't really have any major issues with this battle. All in all, there's a few good ideas in there, such as the ceiling-mounted force beams and the swordy enemies having the potential to be a better alternative to the picket line. Just wish they got a bit more screen time or were used in more creative ways.
Duckman would be pretty amusing. Although the series was one of the better adult animated series ever, but an actual Duckman as a boss would be amusing.
Have you tried turning it off and on again? The humor of this stage doesn't sit well with me. Maybe I'm just becoming a grumpy old man. I won't dwell on that one room in this review since I'm fairly certain other judges will give it a good mouthful. That being said, the stage is overall not bad. The layout is vibrant and neat, the whole battle network inspired aesthetics are also pretty fun, and the reskins are really cute. The move hover usage is quite fine here as well, I say. However, I can't say the same with the usage of the guts hover. It's a one-off gimmick not introduced well. The room is crafted in a way that you'll die experimenting with it. There's a checkpoint right in this room, sure, but it's still not very ideal. The defense system boss at the beginning does way too much contact damage and moves too fast to reasonably avoid it. The fact that it's placed right at the beginning of the stage is perhaps what soured the entire experience. Split path right at the end of the stage, making the player pretty much have to replay the whole stage to get the second element, is rather annoying to say the least. Feels like a very arbitrary way to extend the total playtime of an entry. Darkman 4 here is just Darkman 4 with the damage buff. I guess the color changing is a neat reference to Darkman.exe given the stage's theming. Can't forgive the dabbing though. He dabbed.
I didn't even notice it. I must have... See, that's what happens when you blank cringe from your mind just automatically.
This level has a lot of good ideas, but they never come together to form a fully cohesive whole. I wish I could have been a playtester. Almost every screen has a little something that could be tweaked to improve the challenge or enhance the polish. For example, enemy positioning, ceiling shadows, the unnecessary teleporter tutorial. And there are oversights that should have been caught in testing. For example, sloppy music looping, projectiles that ignore breakdash invincibility, hard crash if you die to Darkman's barrier attack.
Uh-oh.
I like the excuse to cross over with Battle Network. The reskinned enemies look like what they're supposed to, the music choice is good, and the scrolling binary code in the background is a nice touch. I especially like the indoor windows toward the end.
I mean...
The thing you could go farther, though.
Honestly, if it was just like black and white scrolling binary code, it would have been fine. It's just the colors that mess with your brain.
The theming could go farther, though. Battle Network has more interesting locations than repetitive green building, and it has plenty of enemies like Fishy and Windbox that could have been adapted from DevKit assets to unified unfocused enemy and gimmick roster. The NPCs had a lot of character, but their humor is perhaps too dated and referential for its own good. The story is questionable. You fixed the computer by destroying the system core? Darkman seems irrelevant to the plot, and he would have made a better Token Guardian. It's obvious it's obnoxious to replay almost the entire level to reach a split where you choose between energy elements. Also, the challenge progression breaks down when you choose his path. Conveyors and text now? On the plus side, the Hunter mini-boss is good. Some of the asset introductions are done well, for example, move hover. And up and down warning signs are smart. Regularly placed checkpoints balance out any instant death beginner traps. The laser sprint at the end is creative. Still, there's tons of room for improvement. I see so many levels putting in pity party signs. Oh, I wanted to do this thing, but I ran out of time. Don't! Just don't! Apologizing for not including something is much more irritating than just not including the thing. It makes it all more glaring. It does not garner you points or favors and just feels like making excuses. Hell, half the time the judge or player would not have even noticed the stage is lacking a thing until you brought it up. Really doesn't help that the constant Mr. Progs get rather tedious rather quickly, and trying to keep talking to him breaks the flow. Plus, that final large room that's full of the green gits is probably responsible for killing comedy dead as an art form. I do think this level even starts off on a bad foot with a rather pointless entrance that doesn't match the rest of the stage. I can't even say it's for aesthetics, as it uses two unique gimmicks that never reappear and feels barren and, of course, the most pointless of dev kit boss fights. What? I wasn't done.
That wasn't that. Okay. Go ahead. Find what I. Okay. Oh, there we go.
I was far from done.
It looked like it was done out of the corner of my eye there, so.
The actual stage itself has its highlights. The Battle Network enemies are cute, and there are some genuinely fun moments here and there with some interesting setups. The use of force beams here is novel, and I think the shoot-to-move platforms from the 4th Game Boy game get some pretty good use here. And it turns out, move hover enemies can instant kill via crushing, apparently. I was not aware of that before this level. It's not what I call great, but certainly acceptable, and often beyond the bare minimum that you expect for a stage with so many gimmicks. But then the fact that these only show up for a single room just makes the entire stage feel rather disjointed and sloppy.
Sweetie.
I wasn't done. Sweetie.
Knocking the controller off the table. I had to catch it quick and it just knocked everything out.
Many of the up and downs positionings are just brutal, with the double duo being particularly egregious. And the sheer number of shielded enemies take what is already a level with pacing problems and attach a weight to its legs. Bring Laser Trident. That all said, I appreciate there is at least an attempt with the gun wall boss. I gotta say it doesn't really work, but I can see what you're going for. With some more time and polish placed here, rather than actually doing some of the more pointless additions in the stage, it might have ended the stage on a high note. Because one final big complaint with the level. 2 elements that resulted from a split path at the end of the stage. What? Why? Why do you even bother with the Darkman fight? Seriously. It is such a pointless filler addition to the stage that just forces players to play through the stage at least twice just to face a really mediocre boss. This is an utterly idiotic way to end a level. Just really sours a lasting impression and makes its other flaws all the more grating than they actually are.
Alrighty. I see a robot. I see original Robotnik in the background.
I know to be a ladybug robot in a green checkered paradise. The wind in my antenna, the sound of waterfalls, the speed I get from rolling down slopes. I'm seeing everything was so blocky, am I right?
What? Mirror Woman. What?
What?
Who are you down there?
5. Oh boy. The mirror gimmicks here can be very disorienting and it may cause headaches or motion sickness. It's a long level too, so you see it a lot. At least one judge felt very unwell after playing as a result. Guess who? You'll see some examples in the room to the right. You can find every item to the left if it's too much to handle. This is why I hate halls of mirrors. Hi. Over your NPC in this level hints that there might be a costume unlocked for defeating a hidden mini-boss. Sorry, but there is no costume. They just got their hopes up. Shame, really. Could have used a costume. Tell me, those tokens aren't just reflections, are they? I tried getting them legitimately, but this mirror puzzle's making you break out in hives. There's one token I swear you'll never find without the compass. Please, describe these if they're real. At least when I scratch myself, I know I'm not a reflection.
Okay.
Huh.
I feel like someone's going to break in multiplayer. Oh. Here's the level. The DuckTales mirror? I mean, it fits, I guess.
It's from Plugman's stage, actually.
It looks like the DuckTales mirror from Transylvania. I mean, it's Capcom, so, I mean...
Yeah. Oh.
This is like a level for Hydras. Largo. There's a token in here. Hmm? Got it. Guess that can't damage you. That, sweetie. I need to hit the start once. Oh, well, this sure is going to be a pain in the butt.
Oops. Yeah, I was gonna say... Okay, that's cool!
That's fine, yeah, that's just fine.
What's going on here?
I see a token up top, somehow. Oh!
Whoa!
That does a lot of freaking damage. How am I supposed to know that's a... Okay, that must be the one they're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I used some tanks.
We don't need the token. Wait, we get sent back here? Really?
I guess so.
Oh, whoops.
What? Oh, that doesn't... oh, this is going to be annoying. Ice was cut off weirdly there, I just noticed.
Oops.
That does a crap load of damage, too. guess that's not a platform. Wow. This is going to be very annoying. That is just some annoyance in the design there. I couldn't tell that wasn't a platform. At least it only switched it once. Oh, how you would possibly find that.
Oops. Video game! Oops. Yeah, like, this is a cool level.
It's kind of an interesting concept, but it's also...
It just needs a checkpoint at the top of this ladder.
Or not be zipped through the floor there.
Yes.
Oh, that was a first! Don't stand too close to the edge of that, I guess. I do reflecting shots and the ice effects. I mean, they need a better border there, but hey, it's nothing bad. Just needs a little bit of toning, especially knowing like what's the background, what's not, and oh. I still eat from that. Well, there's a checkpoint.
I made it.
Oh. Why? If this is a mini boss, it sure has a lot of health.
It's just blocking everything we throw at it with its hands.
Yeah, but we also don't do too much damage to it. I don't understand why there's a ladder behind it, but... Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Sweetie, no! That was bad time to
E-Tank!
bad timing to jump. Oh no!
Whoa!
sweetie, I didn't want you to start. Oh no. Ah! Oh no, the controls are dead. It reversed the controls too? Oh.
No, we're just on the other side.
It's still an interesting trick then if it's... It feels like the controls got reversed.
Let's see... I think if I shoot there, yeah.
Uh-oh. Actually, there's a way to tell because Susie's shirt is a different color.
Yes.
It's the same. What? Susie is... You cannot... trick the Roo, I guess. Who's dinging? Who knows dinging? Luna, you can wait a second, puppy. Oh no.
Oh, bugger.
Oi! Luna, you can wait, please. I know, if you need out, you can wait, please.
Why does this Yoku block appear just right there?
I'm not sure. Maybe to zip you off the ladder? Because I can see that happening.
There we go.
Good luck. Ah! No!
Really? At least it gets sent right here. Yep. One up.
So you're in the way, thank you.
Nice.
Does it heal itself? She'll heal it. Why? Why would you do that? Did you make special to heal it?
I think Shockwave doesn't heal it, but I'm all out of that now.
Still, why would you make those heal it? That's just... Why? This is going to be one confusing level.
Kind of a long level, isn't it?
Yeah. We must be almost done, though, hopefully. Wait, what?
There's a spike spider way. Oop.
So are those. Oh, what is this?
Ugh. Where's this go?
To
Oh, this doesn't go anywhere.
a nut room, I guess.
What?
Sweetie, please.
Oops.
Oh, this is really hard to do with this perspective.
Ooh! We need to flip the switches. Got it. And I'm dead.
That thing is just gonna come back, isn't it?
Yep.
Please. Why?
Because they were there in the mirror image. At least we're okay.
I was holding the button to use that. Thank you very much.
Oh. I thought that was gonna flip. Guess not.
This level goes from like 0 to Y very quickly. Something is in there. There's flashing there. What?
It's nothing we need.
No, it's in the next room.
It's still nothing we need.
If it's flashing on the...
If it's flashing and it's not a token, then what is
I
it?
don't know, but that only shows like important stuff, doesn't it?
I don't know.
The only thing it ever shows was important stuff. Is that the energy element? Like...
Can't even get through here. Oh.
It's the token.
Oh, right, it is a token. Right! We picked up the tokens before, that's right. What?
Take this. That was me falling. Ah! It's waiting for Susie, I guess. Or waiting for nothing. Oh, we're up here now? Co-op. Shoot it!
Rude!
Very. Like, am I supposed to avoid that? I can't. Wait.
Hit it with. Try a charge shot.
Yeah, I guess the charge shot does hit it then. Paw off my controller, please. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, your breath is terrible, cat. Excuse me. You are not Simon. How long is this level?
I don't know. Whoops. Oh boy.
This.
Wait, can you hit that with a elect beam?
This looks annoying. Yeah. I hit that button. It's not responding quick enough.
Ow.
Unique and interesting gimmick to all this. It's just needs to be executed better. That, well, I can let you get that, but whatever.
I thought it would still be on the ceiling.
Who are you? John Arbuckle Wizard? He kind of looks like he looks like a Garfield character. He's got a lot of frickin' defense and health here. I mean, if he does that, that's not a big thing. Uh-oh. Normal Buster Shots is faster because he takes like no damage from a charge shot.
Well, that was exciting.
Well, we got through it. Who the heck are you?
Yep.
Oh, it's Ballad.
Ballad. I swear, ever since he found his old costumes, Punk's been very judgmental lately. You think he's so cool in that stupid pineapple suit, which clearly beats are superior. I had the best costume out of anyone here, and I'll beat up anyone who says otherwise with beats.
Okay.
Mirror Woman.
Oh, that was... Oh, okay.
What? Well, I definitely like the music. It fits... Well, I definitely like the music. It fits the mystical theme quite well. Indeed, Mirror Woman is a level that makes a solid first impression. The enemy set is alright. Sola O is extremely useful, and Shadow Mega Man emerging from mirrors is a nice touch. That said, there are also spots where it needs work. Mirror Attacker is a fitting enemy, but it's really boring even for a shield attacker. And while the Whip Tank is a nice enemy, I have absolutely no idea why it's here. The gimmicks are similarly alright. Mirrors are the expected choice, and they get a lot of good puzzles. The Mirror World is a fun concept, and I appreciate how much it shows up. Yoku blocks are Yoku blocks with all the benefits and flaws that apply. And the crash lifts are simple, but their application is interesting and fun. As a whole, it starts off well. Unfortunately, the reverse gravity throws it all off course. I like the idea of trading places with your mirror duplicate and doing the level in reverse. That sounds like a really cool concept. Unfortunately, there's a fine line between fun screwy and frustrating screwy. And stacking reverse gravity on top of Yoku's and mirror switch puzzles is absolutely in the latter camp. Combined with one of the most awkward tokens I've seen in a while, y'all are lucky to have the radar, and the level falls flat on its face. Are the bosses enough to salvage it? Well, kind of. Buranai is okay in regular gravity, a little over the top, but nothing major. Buranai in reverse gravity is just plain irritating. Easier to line up hits on, but noticeably harder to dodge. And less said about the Dev Room Buranai, the better. As for Mirror Woman herself, the concepts are fine, and I appreciate that she doesn't have reverse gravity. However, she fires a few too many bullets at once, making dodging a right pill. They're both okay bosses, but they should get some toning down, and reverse gravity level desperately needs toning down. It's always frustrating to come across a level that I have to file under the would-be favorite category. It's the type of stage that I want to like. It certainly has the potential to be good, but it ends up falling short for one reason or another. To be fair, though, this one didn't start off too bad. The room layouts in the first half, though, a bit rough around the edges at times, especially that narrow Yoku block segment with the shield attacker, are still pretty fun things to how the gimmicks are used. The mirror surfaces stuck out to me the most, given it's a simple mechanic with a lot of potential behind it. The same goes for the mirror image rooms, and even though I've been personally overexposed to that type of gimmick thanks to other game series, I still found them pretty enjoyable in the first half of this level. Either way, I was mostly on board this stage. Up to this point, the only thing I wasn't a fan of were the tiles and the color palettes. When I got near the second half of the level, however, I unfortunately found more things to add to that list. First off, the mini-boss. While I really like his concept and design, the actual fight can be very frustrating. The main issue here is his weak spot is largely covered for most of the battle. While you can sneak in charge shots during his idle phase, you need to be incredibly precise to land a hit. Unless you're using Tornado Blow, it takes a good amount of time to beat him. The same especially holds true for fighting while upside down. Speaking of which, for as thematically appropriate as the second half may be, and that it's a reflection of the first half, I really don't think a majority of it needed to be in reverse gravity. Rather than adding on to the main gimmicks, it ends up making things more disorienting as a result. Thankfully, this doesn't extend to the task of getting the tokens, save for the heart token. At first, I wasn't sure if it was possible to obtain without trial and error. As it turns out, the room's layout is actually revealed by the same one in the second half of the level. I could definitely see this being praised as an inventive solution by some, but I personally just found it to be obtuse. As for Mirror Woman herself, she's a rather decent fight all around. She doesn't do anything too fancy, but she still manages to put up an engaging fight. The only thing I really had any trouble with was reflecting charge shots into her. I don't know why, but the mirror surfaces seem to act very finicky when it comes to fully charged shots. Hitting the center and the top of the slope seems to reflect them properly. But nearly anywhere else has a 50-50 chance of your shots flying off to the side. In any case, I ended up leaving this stage feeling a bit disappointed. Like I said, there's a lot of potential in the gimmicks and the general theming here. With a bit more polish, this could have easily been a far better level and potentially a contender for one of my favorites. Seeing double mystical magnificence! I get what the stage is going for here, but this is a few too many disorienting gimmicks at once. It would have been fine to just stick with the reflecting projectile mechanic and squeeze in more use out of it, like implementing more puzzle-oriented challenges with its properties. The fact that the perplexing gimmicks comboed with a stage that is on the longer side with a total of 5 tokens to search for, I would not recommend replaying this without extended breaks. Few of the screens can look a bit messy with the graphics clashing with each other, especially if the shines from the glass panes, making it hard to decipher where some of the stage elements are. Huh?
You there? Just
I'm here. I'm here.
I can't hear anything. What just happened?
I can hear you.
Oh, Sweetie turned the volume down on. She smacked the volume control with her tail.
Sweetie.
No, I was like, there was nobody near the perfect tail smack when she jumped.
Sweetie kitty. Especially with the shines from the glass panes, making it hard to decipher where some of the stage elements are.
Sweetie.
Could you click the game, please?
Back on the game. Sweetie is laying on the mouse pad and grooming herself.
Unfortunately, the unorthodox nature of the level layout doesn't make it much better. There are also some instances where a block is placed close to the ground near a slope where it looks like Mega Man can walk through, but it's a little too narrow to do so. Something weird about that. If you get too close, the diagonal mirrors don't reflect your bullets as they should. Laser Trident also gets stuck in place and makes some horrendous noise.
Oh no!
Some of the mirror rooms also kind of don't really utilize the mirror gimmick all that much, in which they're literally mirrors and the other side doesn't give out any more information. It's essentially made half the screen redundant in a way. Pooher and I, the fortune-telling machine mini-boss, is brutal. At first I wasn't even sure where his hitbox was because he kept spamming the move where he shoots scaled-up bullets at you and his hands were in place where his hitbox is, deflecting all my shots. On top of that, he has a boss health bar and the fight ends up lasting for too long with hard-hitting, hard-to-dodge attacks. Mirror Woman, in contrast, is much more manageable, except for one attack where she splits into 2 copies on the ground with the reflection mirror in the middle. I cannot find a reliable way to dodge the mirrored shots at all while also avoiding shots from the boss herself. I also think it's cool that the diagonal mirror gimmick is incorporated into the boss fight, especially during the last 2 attacks. Fine boss it was, with a nice aesthetic design too. One thing I've learned from participating in these contests, it's better to focus on a few good ideas than to let unbridled creativity overwhelm a level. This level goes all out with the different interpretations of the mirror premise. Reflected shots, clones, reversing direction, and that's awesome. But then it keeps piling on gimmicks, enemies, and extras until there's too much to handle and a lot of potential gets lost along the way. Disorganization is one of the level's key weaknesses. Difficulty progression is all over the place, and gimmick introductions are never as clear forgiving as they should be. Checkpoint frequency is erratic. The secret teleporters behind the starting point are a disastrous thing for first-time players to discover. Cluttered graphics and crowded architecture make the scenery hard to parse. The mix of textures and colors and the lack of negative space turn a nice tile set into an eyesore, and it died more than once on hazards I didn't even realize were there. Polish is another weakness, as demonstrated by custom enemy programming, sprite errors, and game crashes. Reflective slopes. For starters, try shooting one with laser trident. The mini-boss, inconsistent weapon interactions. The choice of boss projectile. The fight is hectic enough without confusing your buster shots for hers.
True.
Etc. Only the custom sprites are exempt. They look like Capcom sprites, and that's the highest praise I can offer to anyone. Oh, and the music is pretty much perfect. But that's as much positivity as I can muster. I can't fathom a Buster-only run. Buranai is an infuriating combination of everything I hate in a mini-boss. Locating and collecting each token feels insulting, not rewarding. Most of all, prolonged exposure to multiple perception-twisting gimmicks, about 30 minutes each playthrough, left me mentally exhausted and physically ill. The shattering combination reflects poorly on the level. Here I thought it was aced at This was close to being a very good level, with a couple of specific areas that drag it down quite a lot. There are several segments of the level that were simply mean, involving tight jumps and missing checkpoints, compounded with quite a lot of instant death. The measurement between checkpoints should not be the number of rooms between them. Looking at your map, this appears to be fine, but the time it takes to get between them and the penalty for failure. Often you have to repeat puzzles or areas with waiting, and in one case a lengthy mini-boss. If ever in doubt, add more checkpoints. There's a lot of waiting in the level between mini-boss phases where it is shielded, the Sola O being invulnerable and frequent, and Yoku block puzzles. The level often loses all sense of flow as you run into these obstacles, even if you have already completed a challenge they bring multiple times. Combining gimmicks is appreciated, but the second half of the level went a bit overboard. Combining reverse gravity, the doppelganger, and Yoku blocks all at once became quite the headache at times. I don't understand why this section was upside down when the mirroring has clearly happened left to right. There are a few rooms in particular which is unfair. The heart token room requires a lot of trial and error, and the mirrored room later on in the level does not accurately reflect the dark room. For instance, where's the third mirror? The use of instant death in this room and the lack of a checkpoint here was very punishing. Later on, there's a room where the exit is mostly hidden behind the health bar. The HUD needs taking into consideration when designing levels. Having said all this, I enjoyed the level quite a lot. The reflection gimmick is a really neat idea with a lot of potential, which I wish had been used a bit more. I want to see more puzzles like the final room, combining enemies, mirror blocks, and timing puzzles, but the puzzles we got were well thought out and interesting. I like the idea behind the mini-boss and how the fight goes on, but I think the second one was a waste of time. Especially as it was invulnerable for a long period of the fight, and one of the attacks couldn't hit the player. The use of RNG wasn't great, as it could reuse attacks that made it impossible to hit without weapons, leading to segments of up to a minute where the player could do nothing but wait. Mirror Woman was a solid, enjoyable fight, though some of the attacks were placed in slightly unfair locations. And that all said, for what it's worth, this was a level played when the initial plan was to use a proxy player whilst playing was physically impossible for me. And Liana did not like this level. Did that affect the review and scores much? Not really. I am the judge here, so it would have gotten a reasonably positive score, but you did make back some fun scores, as at the time I had to rely solely on him for that, for obvious reasons. Just one of those behind the curtain types of things. Alright, on to 89th place, Working in the Rain. Someone out there? Ah, you there, do you think you could assist me? I appear to be trapped inside this metal chamber. As Pineapple said that an optical costume for me was stored inside, but I went to inspect, something pushed me inside. On closer examination, I can conclude that it is empty, but I cannot open the door. How unusual.
I wonder you can't get out. Someone's welded the locker door shut. That's a locker? I thought it was a porta potty. I thought that was a porta potty. We are restocked.
Yay for thingies. Yep, working in the rain by the retro dude. Couple of low fun scores here. Oh no, it's the frame rate killer!
That it is.
Bird, please.
Ah! Well, if you get hit there, you die. Frogs! What?
Go away, bird. And it respawned. That's not even a bird.
It's a bug.
Go away, bug.
It's bugging me, man. Bugger man.
Toad!
Better than Booger Man, which was a terrible platformer. Hoy!
This feels like a kind of thing where flash fan beams are going to come out at you, but
that is what I was
there aren't any emitters.
That's what I was worried about, actually. Oh.
Rocks? Falling rocks? What?
I guess...
That hurts you?
A tiny bit of the rock got me, I guess. I didn't even notice it. A nasty place to put that dude. Ow, 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 ow. Sweetie, hi, yes. Oh!
Oops!
Sweetie was pushing the controller for me and it got you too! Sweetie, please!
Cat.
Cat run. I love that cat run is a thing in actually some speed running. I mean, I got the old world record for hard mode Tanuki Justice with a cat in my lap, so...
Oops.
Although the person who beat me was cheating, apparently, but there's not an easy way to prove it, but that's according to the devs. It's like, well, that sucks. I mean, I know the game is ridiculously over-the-top hard, but don't cheat, at least. Yeah, barely beat me, too, like cheating, like, come on.
Yeah, like if you're gonna cheat, set your time to 0 or something. I mean, come on.
People do all the time in like PSN and Xbox and on Steam. People were doing that.
Yeah, and the Wi-Fi leaderboards for Sonic Rush Adventure did that.
It'd be nice. I figured that there were going to be stones dropping, but it'd be nice if it dropped before I made the jump. So I know it's coming. I can lure it out.
Also, this level needs a checkpoint.
Yeah. I mean, we have like a mini boss up here. Some people want to watch the world burn. Other people want to make levels in the rain in a Mega Man game.
Alright. Rush Jet time.
I mean, I guess we could do that. Bombs and aura spheres flying everywhere.
Yay, I'm actually alive for this section for once.
Froggy!
Why wasn't the boulder dropping until we killed the frog?
Uh-oh, look out. Why would you do that? Why?
And the frog respawned.
What is on why would you do that? That is just terrible enemy placement for that. It looks like it's for the token, too. Yow. Frogs, please.
Oops.
Frogs, please. Ah, I hate that! Darn it!
I'm out of rush jet.
This level is more annoying than it needs to be. Yep.
Dang!
Hi, sweetie. Ah! I got thrown off. When the heck is a checkpoint?
Hmm.
This level's especially annoying in co-op just because you don't know who the stones are waiting for. What? Frogs!
Does this level just not have checkpoints?
I don't know. I don't see any in the map so far.
How rude.
Are we gonna get a checkpoint anytime soon?
Apparently not.
Like, I don't want to have to replay this whole freaking level here. It looks like there's one coming up after the mini-boss. Because of course it's after the mini-boss.
Would you rather it be before the mini-boss and have to refight it when you die?
I would rather we had one, like, way before the recent challenges. Like, after we dealt with one of them. Especially when this is...
I still think this thing is weak to break dash.
There's a checkpoint.
Yay.
This is a very long level. Length is a very common issue. Same with checkpoint. Just bad checkpoint usage. Ow. Frog again. Almost seems like they gave the frog more health than normal.
Hello, heart token.
Are we just going to do all the tokens at once near the end? I mean, that's fine too, I guess. Yeah, they gave the frog more health, I think. Why? It had a fine amount of health normally. I'm outside the map! Bastion, quit breaking. Hey! Ah, okay, that's weird. Usually in Mega Man, the immunity is when you're leaning over. I just gotta get used to that.
Yay, E-Tank!
Level. Again? Owie! Why are there so many things? Their bug is trying to poop on me.
Why are there so many Hammer Joes?
This is just needless delay for the sake of delay. Stop with all the Joes. Checkpoint. Yay! Finally.
Yay!
And we still aren't through the level. Ow!
Alright, get out of here. That didn't work.
Uh-oh. Good thing it waited for me.
Bah.
Darn it! It was just weirdness on the sliding there, that's all. Oh! Well, that one fell quick. Oh, these Joes make this level take so much. Ah, no!
Rain!
And death lag throwing me off. It's like the placement of these Joes and the use of them is solely just to waste people's time more than is.
When
whoa! What did you respawn for?
When I was like 7 or 8, I had a dream about a Mega Man-like game called Rain Transformers.
Rain Transformers?
Yes.
Oh, frog! Robots in the wet. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know about Transformers at the time, I don't think.
The precipitation cons are things. Don't get wet. I don't know. Precipitation cons. I don't know. Or is it like Kyogre? Ow, right on.
Dang it
again. Oh, that was me. I'm still alive. Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the item get notifications was Misty puts on angel costume. That's like the only other detail I remember at all.
Please, no. No. That is awful.
This is your Thomas the Plank Engine moment. I guess. Inner Toad Man.
It's you again.
Battle Network Toadman is much cuter.
The most intimidating jumps of all time. At least it was like I hate Toadman because he takes forever to frickin' die and he's just so boring. Kalinka!
Kalinka! Aww.
Matchman.
Okay. Never heard of you.
Zero.
Zero!
I hope I wish we had Zero back from the Magma Zero. I like the mini map.
Well,
wait, is that the current map? Yeah, that must be. Yeah.
Well, this is certainly a decent attempt. The rain is exactly as prevalent as the title suggests, and it works well with the drill mat with the drill rocks, which are some of the most effective drill rocks I've seen in a while. Additionally, the whole rainy construction site concept communicates beautifully with the title, so props for the aesthetic. As for the enemies, Croakers, Hammerjoes, and Hey-Heys seem to work well together, creating scenarios where they're occasionally a threat. Combined with a fair difficulty curve and a lack of cheap shots, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't call.
And this doesn't seem terrible.
First token, a lack of cheap shot there.
However, rainstorms make for a very tedious core gimmick, particularly when it's pushing against you, and the enemy set, while functional, is both relatively bland and especially tedious. The design is definitely decent, but I just found myself bored the entire time I was here. It's a good start, but some more active gimmicks would be appreciated. For that matter, the 5th token was just completely arbitrary. Why is that even there? 4 tokens is completely acceptable.
Luna, quit bothering Lakota.
Beyond the above, the other thing to talk about is glitches. This used so much rain that for the first while, the level was crashing into unplayability and couldn't be judged.
Can you guys play outside, please?
We've obviously fixed that at this point, and being a dev kit asset, that's partially on the team, but it left a mark on the functionality score. I would advise being careful with gimmick usage in the future. Not everything works when it gets used all over the level. By all accounts, this is a perfectly average level. Didn't do anything amazing, and aside from a few rough spots here and there, it isn't particularly bad either. There's nothing too noteworthy about the platforming in this stage, given most of the sections roll around pretty standard gimmick usage as far as the rainfall and the rock spawners go. With that being said, it's clear that there was some effort put into a good chunk of the room layout, as you still need to be mindful of most of your jumps.
Luna, please.
Oh, Roo. It's not all that challenging, it's still just enough to keep your attention throughout most of the segments. On that note, I noticed that the checkpoints in this stage are placed pretty far apart from each other.
Come in.
If anything, I'd say this is the stage's most glaring flaw. Dying essentially means doing more legwork through previous sections than you would in most other levels. Checkpoints aside, the only other issues I have with this level relate to the ending. I get the impression there was either a lack of ideas or time constraints regarding the last token. Seeing as while all the other ones required at least some level of effort to attain, the final one is just sitting in the middle of the boss corridor. Speaking of the boss, while I appreciate trying to spice up a vanilla boss in some way, I don't think it really works here. The added rainfall doesn't really contribute anything to this totally in sight. Seeing as you can beat him without jumping. He has a stigma of being one of the easiest bosses in the series for a reason, after all, and it takes a lot to make his fight interesting, or even remotely difficult for that matter. As said before, though, I don't think all these things make this a bad level. A bit rough around the edges, sure, but it's still a relatively average stage. Rainy with a chance of frogs. Pretty neat aesthetics of combining the various construction-themed Robot Masters tile sets together. It probably would have looked a little less dull with one vibrant color or two to the palette. There seems to be an inverse difficulty curve going on here, as it feels that the stage starts hard and then gets easier at the end, at least in terms of enemy placement. Interesting choice of using Hammer Joe with the frog enemies for combat with the rain physics. Definitely makes you second guess about jumping to dodge a hammer while on narrow platforms. The rock dispensers, the initial introduction is decent, but it is not enough, as the rock falls immediately again if you try to lure it initially, getting out of and into the range of the drop again, leading you to get hit and pummeled by a surprise second rock. Kind of a rude placement of the Stomper enemy right before the boss gate, after dealing with a rather tricky version of the Boulder mini-boss. Boss is just regular Toadman. Sure, there's rain in the arena now, but you don't need to jump anyway to do a manip, not enough to spice the fight. Rainy mining and construction site is a fun setting, and the music, while perhaps too obvious a choice, sets a nice tone. At a glance, or if using Rush Jet and Laser Trident to Plowhead, it's easy to write off the challenges as tepid variations of things we've seen elsewhere. While that's true of some setups, for example, Climb a Ladder, Fight a Joe, so much of the level resolves around receptively tricky combinations. Joes with Hey-Heys, a boulder-filling zigzag platform climb, Stonehead with an uneven floor. Good stuff. I like how each new section starts with a checkpoint, has a distinctive look, I'm a sucker for monochrome, and a challenge focus, and builds on the section before it, with the exception of the frog ambush or two. Especially the rain. I would have liked more interplay between rain and regular backgrounds, both to mess with the player, and to break up the long stretches of repetitive but still pleasant aesthetics. A little more standing water, if only as decoration, might also help. I've got a couple nitpicks regarding architecture, tile work, and exploding mini-boss walls, but I'll devote my word count to the things that limit my...
Sweetie.
It got clicked.
Yeah.
That limit my enjoyment most. A dearth of power-ups and a handful of samey or easier than before challenges make the level feel one longer checkpoint than it should be. Magnet Beam ruins every token challenge except the last one, which ruins itself. I would have swapped out Hammer Joe, overused, for Pickleman Dada, more thematic, comparably tricky, and adjusted the boss fight, altering the terrain further or replacing a boss to make the rain more relevant. It may not wow me the way some other levels do, but I respect the premise as well as the subtle creativity and deliberate design to characterize the level. Hammer Joe is the enemy you use when you run out of ideas.
Hey!
It was.
We have similar opinions there.
It was their first enemy, and then over 50% of the enemies were Hammer Joes. It doesn't help that other enemies couldn't be killed or had a huge amount of health. The ways to try that were not in the engine. This would be an unplayable, boring. It's a shame because I think the level architecture and gimmicks could have been pretty decent, but it's so hard to tell around the enemies that it is so hard to tell around the enemies that cover the stage. The average checkpoint was around 4 dull, repetitive minutes, and the end of the first section was particularly punishing for this, given if you died if you did not understand a rock falling gimmick immediately. There's not much more to say as the enemy choice completely killed the stage.
What is there? More stages or boss? More stages.
More stages. It's midnight.
Fujin!
Oh boy.
The Storm Scraper is next.
Anchor! The symbol of a warrior from the depths of the underworld. Their techniques are said to have struck fear into the hearts of their foes, and all were helpless before them. If I can learn this technique, then Mega Man will finally have no chance against me. Oh, wizard. Isn't this golden armor impressive? I feel like a goddess's strongest knight in this. Nuttin' and Bolton. Goodness, dear, everyone's wearing such stylish costumes. It's hard to decide a runner-up, let alone a winner. Oh, sweetie, to me everyone's a winner, if their costume isn't as fancy or elaborate as the others. Entering it all is worthy of pride. I agree, and that's the problem. We're judges. We simply must decide upon a winner, and to be honest, I fear a third judge will be rather harsh. True, they are rather strict, but maybe it's just their way of getting everyone to do their best. Well, they needn't worry about that if you ask me, my love. Everyone looks so darling. Third place? My costume's more elaborate than anyone else's, and they say I'm only going to win third place? You think I can't impress the judges? That I can't scare them? How hard can that be?
Is that a Goomba?
Kino Janpu. Yep. Ooh, I hope my costume's good enough to impress the judges. I didn't have much to work with, but I got these sweet shoes. Of course, I don't have feet because I'm a mushroom, so they're staying on with duct tape and hope.
Wow, we got quite a bit more.
I didn't feel like climbing that long ladder and took a shortcut, for I am Magneto, master of magnet! That said, I can't seem to get down. I played that simulation down there. It must be making my magnetism too strong. Well, at least I don't have to worry about losing this helmet, even if it doesn't fit me.
Oh, I have no idea what you're saying.
Element Man!
Apparently I made him mad. There's a lot more levels, wow.
Hey, hands off, partner. Ain't no concern hat left on the wayside on a genuine cowboy. Supposed to be helping out at the jailhouse, but some darn fool wore me as a hat while I was snoozing on the bus. Really need to get himself a proper horse so this doesn't happen again. Just need to figure out how to ride one. Hi. Hey, your Bastion costume needs work. It looks nothing like me.
pretty accurate. Hey, wait a minute, you can't be the real Bastion either. Just who are you?
I am the real Bastion, and I don't appreciate people trying to imitate me with cheap knockoffs. Why don't you get rid of that stupid costume and admit who you really are? To yourself if no one else.
Jeez, I'm just pretending to be someone else for fun. You don't have to ruin people's immersion like a jerk. As you run the talk, it's just... Wait, what are you even talking about?
Oh yes? Well, even if I wasn't the real Bastion, there's no way you could prove it. Certainly not by unmasking me. How would you even do that, tornado blow? Okay, maybe I had that coming. I didn't think you'd actually shoot my costume. Do you know how hard it is to get those things looking good? Especially for those spinning platforms.
The Wario?
Zombie Wario! Wah! I rise from my grave because I don't feel like dying. And because I crave coins! Coins! Coins!
How much podium board do we have to go? Oh, geez, that's a long way to go.
Hey there, Time Man. Dude, now this is one real bosh going on here. One's all fancy like. Kinda wish I wore a costume myself. It'd be hard finding one in my size. Oh well, wouldn't want to disguise myself from the fam cheering me on. Speaking of fancy, did you see that simulation up there? I don't see what's so gross about it. It looks amazing to me. Reminds me a bit of the steel mills back home. All the grit and soot, pulling red hot steel onto fire, striking it. Guess a working body like me sticks out in this fancy bash after all, huh? Ah, Bastion. You're right on time. It's a relief to see a punctual competitor for once. You'll find the tier boss up ahead. Now get going, the clock is ticking.
Okay, so we definitely have a bit more to go.
Yep, what? You have reached the judging panel, puny mortal. Are you ready to face your final judgment?
Why are you so huge?
I am the arbiter of judgment, the one who decides which mortal's attire is worthy of glory. They told me I could be anything, so I became a god among machines. All quake in fear of my wrath.
Okay.
I'm ready. Very well, but no one can outrun their judgment forever. So be it. I see your costume and I deem it unregistered. I sentence you to death. Oh, okay, that's the return thing. That's funny.
That's just teleportation. Alright, well I guess we gotta... We're leaving that rest off for next time, or what?
Yeah.
Alright, well that'll be it for tonight then, and
Good times.
we're getting out of, like, most of the headache-inducing stuff. It's funny that we're finding more skip gates as we get to the mid-zones.
Skip dates from motion sickness too, apparently.
Seems to be the most common thing, are ridiculously long and hard levels. Well, whatever.
Or completely broken levels.
We won't be back with us tomorrow. I might be doing Neo 2 tomorrow. We'll see. Alright, well.
We'll see.
I'm going to leave. Whoa! What is going on with my mouse? Oh, sweetie, you turned up the mouse sensitivity to like 20. You're like zooming all over the place.
Thanks, sweetie.
Alrighty.
Sweetie kitty.
So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm not working or anything, so I'll be around whenever. I might do a little Neo 2 before we do this, or a little of my own solo stuff. I don't know. I still need to get to the Elden Ring DLC when I'm playing through that again. But that'll be the puppies are still outside, surprisingly. Fine.
Puppies.
Then I get this. Everybody stay well. Be well. We'll see y'all next time.
Sweetie kitty. It's a sweetie kitty. Hello, sweetie. Bye-bye, sweetie.
Why? That was... Oh, no! There were like 14 viewers right at the last second. My viewer just shut up. Somebody must have rated right when I stopped.
Oh, no.